All right, so Gen Z, we ain't having kids anytime soon. We are indeed not having children anytime soon. All right, and it's not because we're selfish, as the boomers want to say. It's simply because why? Say it with me, people. We can't afford them. We cannot afford children, so we're not gonna bring them into the world. But this the thing, our boomer parents, or Gen X parents, some of us may have, because I have, biologically speaking, Gen X parents, okay? They keep begging us for grandchildren, all right? But this is the thing, my parents, specifically my biological parents, are not together. So what kind of image should I show my children? That to me does not show that, that doesn't show that there is no structure in my life. I understand. I keep always talking about my parents not being together, okay? But that's the thing. It plays a huge role. I am at a disadvantage in my life. Whenever parents are not together, the children always suffer. Always. And I am now living in that hell. I am now living in that suffering now. So, I'm trying to see how will I make peace with that suffering, all right? Which I think I've already came up with a plan with it, all right? But going back on topic, us Gen Zs, like I said, we cannot afford to, have children. The difference between, okay, this is the thing. The elder generations, they over there talking about, oh, y'all are so selfish and stuff like that. You don't want to have no children. All you do is care about yourselves and stuff like that. You just want to sleep around. You just want to, it's just all this stuff, like as if we stuck up, whatever. Like, when that's not really the case. I'm very sure a good number of my generation want to have children. I would love to have children. They're very nice to be around, very fun to be around, all right? I've served in children's ministry. A lot of kids, some kids like to be bad, some don't like to. I like it. I always liked it when I was in church about almost even a year ago. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was actually a year ago. A year or two ago, I'm over here behind the computer, running the tech booth is what they call it. Mr. Ray, can you put on what was the thing that called? What was that thing called? It was something that these kids, they knew that I didn't know. They was like, so I put it on because they wanted to dance to those songs or whatever. So, and then Mr. Ray, can I have some candy? Mr. Ray, can I can I have a piece of paper so I can draw? And then on top of that, I did a puppeteer in Bible, Ollie the Owl, if you know. Hello, I'm Ollie the Owl. In today's story, we are going to be talking about how Noah built the ark. I'm pretty sure if you know, you know, okay? I love children. I would love to have them. I already, even before serving in that church, I've wanted children. Well, as a kid, as a teenager, specifically 17, 18, I was already in talks with myself, or just imagining me having children. Like, I always wanted to. Like, I really, really wanted to. But as I grew up, I'm in my mid-20s. I'm going to be 26 in the next few months. I realized children are indeed super expensive. Like, this is the nail in the coffin when I found out that living itself is super expensive. So I'm struggling myself, getting a job at 18 all the way up to now, struggling to get jobs. Even today, I'm still struggling to replace my current warehouse job and stuff like that. I can't replace it. Even if I do have a job or whatever that's paying me $25,000 a year, the rent, the cost of living is way too high. They over here talking about $2,000 for a studio apartment that's in the ghetto hood. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what? And oh my gosh, that is just completely stupid. It's not making sense at all. So if they're talking about a studio apartment that's in the hood is $2,000, what the flying fuck is the price for a 1-bedroom, a 2-bedroom, a house for that matter? Seriously. So I'm realizing I won't be able to get my own place anytime soon. I'm still over living with one or the other of my parents. It's sad now. I mean, I guess I can say one benefit to having divorced parents, I have 2 houses to depend on. If one parent want to act up, I can just go to the other one. But I don't want to talk about that because that's like playing favoritism and stuff like that. Not exactly, but you get what I'm trying to say. The point is, I would rather go to parents' house, not a parent house, okay? Because divorce is terrible. It always hurt the children, no ifs, ands, or buts, all right? And right now, like I said, I'm making peace with my parents not being together. But anyways, I'm over here. So if as a Gen Z, we can't afford to move out, and not only that, we are extremely afraid that the partner that we're going to date is not going to be loyal. The men, us Gen Z men, us young men, we are afraid, even myself, that the Gen Z woman is going to leave us, all right? Leave us for no reason. Because she can't pair bond because she has so big of a body count. The Gen Z women, young women, are afraid of the men because they feel we're not masculine enough. Like, it's just generally sad, all right? It's generally sad. Look, the only reason why I'm playing more of a victim is because, like I said, and the history of this stupid, channel, and even the original Styles channel, as an inexperienced virgin guy, I am more afraid. Like, I am very much afraid because I keep hearing stories of, and this is not me personally, all right? This is another reason why it's Gen Z, okay? But me personally, talk about me first. I am afraid that I will get married. The woman, we have children. She take half all my assets. She takes custody of the children, and then the whole cycle keep happening, all right? That's a huge fear of me, all right? I lose my virginity to this woman, rather she was a virgin or not, and then all of a sudden she decides to step out on a marriage or whatever, divorce me, take half my stuff. Now I'm stuck paying alimony and child support, all right? And it'll be even worse if I found out them children ain't even mine. Imagine that. Imagine, oh my gosh. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that. But us Gen Zs, we've seen and using my case, my parents aren't together. As a Gen Z, now that's putting a lot of fear in Gen Zs. Us Gen Zs, it's a cat. That cat can't hear me. It's because our parents are not together. All of our parents, not all of us, but a lot of our parents are not together, all right? So because of that, we are afraid that the same thing is going to happen to us. So we're being extremely more selected. Hello, cop, you looking at me? Now we're being way more selective with our partners. We're not risking stuff. We are not risking things, all right? We are not taking the same risks that our parents did. And when we express that to our parents, they want to have a problem with it, because parents ain't perfect. We took the risk and all that stuff. We figured it out. Y'all got to do the same. No, life is not the same as the way how you remember. In your 20s, you was able to somehow get probably a 2-bedroom. Get a 2-bedroom just working at McDonald's, all right? Probably without overtime. You was able to do it, all right? But nowadays, working full-time at McDonald's ain't doing jack shit, all right? It's not doing anything. It's not working. So, yeah. And then not only that, we are working harder than ever. We're doing 40 hours plus overtime. We just doing all this work, and we're getting so burnt out. We don't have, like I said, like in my previous video and stuff like that, former videos, we were so tired to even go out and socialize and everything, all right? So yeah, we refuse to repeat the same practices our parents have done. We refuse to. It doesn't look great, so we're not going to engage. And now the birth rate has started to decline, but the government has not done a good job at showing us that we. Oh my gosh, hold up. All right, but anyways, the government has not showed. Okay, that explains why these lights are off. Yeah, it was a flood yesterday. But anyways, the government has not showed us that the economy has not showed us proof that we can raise children. We could be able to raise children. So now we are getting below the birth replacement rate. There's only old people running the system. Old boomers, completely out of touch, still thinking the world is the same when they were in their 20s and 30s, and then expecting us to bring children so we can replace them. Like, I generally am concerned what the first Gen Z president would be like. What would the first Gen Z president be like? That is very interesting. I don't know if Mr. Beast or what's his name? I forgot his name. I think what's his new name? Game Theory. I forgot his name, but Game Theory, because he's in politics now. But Mr. Beast, I think he is a Gen Z. But Mr. Beast and Game Theory, they two, so far, I think the first. Oh my gosh, these are some beautiful flowers. Hey, look at this. Look at some beautiful flowers. Look at these. I'm not gonna touch them, but really beautiful flowers. Never seen sunflowers this close up, actually. Very beautiful flowers. But anyways, but yeah, we just ain't gonna deal with it. Yeah, the Gen Z presidents, I'm not entirely sure, but I guess I could conclude. Gen Z, we can't afford children. We're not gonna put our children under financial stress. Because I was bullied in school because I was so poor, all because I wore the same pants every day. All right. All because I wore the same clothes every day. Not only to mention, we had uniform. It didn't make no sense. But anyways, I was bullied just because I wasn't able to afford stuff like them and stuff like that. Like, it made me like, oh, Raymarko's poor. Ew, he's poor and ugly. All that junk. I know this junk was that long ago, like 2nd grade or whatever, 3rd grade. But I'm just saying, it played a role. All right? Now that junk is stuck in my head, even though that was literally about like 18 years ago. I'm 25 right now. Like, it's sad what bullying does to people, you know? And then on top of that, why in the world would I? There are some people of my generation who indeed generally don't want children because they don't want to they don't want to bring them into a shit world. Like, I don't blame them, especially all this woke junk. This world is not safe on top of that. Like, there's too much woke stuff going on in this world. Too much feminism, too much effeminate men. It's just a whole lot of horse shit in this country, in this world. Like, the world is getting worse and worse. Why in the world would I bring in some children in this world? I do agree, especially from a Christian standpoint, Christian point of view. We should indeed be fruitful and multiply. We should have children, all right? Because then how else we're going to make new Christians, all right? But I'm just saying, by the way how everything looks like, especially considering using myself for an example, I, for the most part, refuse to marry a non-virgin as a virgin man, all right? And then I require her to be attractive on top of that. If I'm doing that, I am by default. If I'm going to follow God's law, most of the time, that means I am likely going to be single for a long time. You ain't gonna find no virgin woman, Ray. Look, I'm not saying there aren't no virgin women out there, especially my age. I'm just saying, in conclusion, I'm just saying that the chances of, the older I get, the less virgins there become, all right? That's all I'm saying, all right? And then I got all my extra standards. So my generation, final conclusion, my generation, we have a lot of standards. We require a livable wage. We require a great community. We require good money and stuff like that. I already said that. We just require all the stuff to be able to make children. So that's why we ain't making children. The government has not proven anything to us, and we refuse to make the same mistakes our parents and grandparents made. We refuse. I refuse. So because of that, we're pushing back on the baby making, all right? You're pushing back on it because we refuse. We just, no, absolutely not. So that's the gambit. What do y'all think? Welcome to the channel. Like, comment, subscribe.